What is going on, guys? FMU here. Welcome back to a special little bonus episode of the AFC Hinckley save. A few people have asked me to do a squad recap, and I've been meaning to do it time and time again, but I'll be honest with you, I've been enjoying being back on here so much that I've just absolutely bombed through the games and sort of churning a few videos together. So this is a bit arse about face because we've actually just played the Man City game, which will actually be the next video after this one. So for that I apologise, but I'm going to give you a rundown of the squad as it is now, who we've got, okay, and we're going to have a little chat about them. I've been talking about this guy, building him up, so you're going to get to see him now, and he's probably not going to be as good now as everybody was hoping him to be, but we'll see. See what you think. So this is Robbie Jenkinson, released by Arsenal, had a loan spell at Welling last season, played 3 games, didn't concede a goal, which is impressive to be fair. He is 18 years of age, he's a promising goalkeeper, and I noticed earlier he's touted as the next Joe Hart. So that means he's going to be in Head and Shoulders commercials. He's got the hair for it, I guess, so he should be alright. He's very decent. He has pulled off some absolute stonking saves since he joined us. Absolutely brilliant saves. His reflexes are very decent. His tendency to punch is only 8, so he does catch a lot. I'll give him his due, he does catch a lot. His communication's been good, and his commanding of the area has been fairly decent. Like last season, you'd see Wally and Bass, they'd come out and a defender had come to the ball as well, and you'd kind of see them getting each other's way quite a bit. That hasn't been evident as yet with Robbie Jenkinson. His kicking's brilliant. He's got very good determination. His agility is decent, his fitness is good, his stamina is good, and he's got brilliant strength. He's a big, strong goalkeeper. 13 stone, 6'2". I imagine him, if you saw him in real life, he'd be built like a brick shite house, to put it bluntly. And I reckon this kid's going to go on to earn us a bucket load of money. I think he's going to go on to play for England. I really, really do. And next up, we've got Harry Davis. Been with us for a couple of seasons now. Good quality, strong centre back, can play right back as well, which is where I've been playing him recently. Came from my boys' crew in the Championship. They released him after 3 seasons in the Championship. We picked him up last season and he got us 3 goals. He's been impressive ever since joining us, and I really like him as a player on this game. I think we could get another couple of seasons out of him if we went up. I think he'd do alright in the Championship as our experienced defender. A good experienced head to have at the back with the other younger guys. Richard Hawkridge, touched on him you know, when we came up. Signed from Derby, very decent stats, bit injury prone in the past, but hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers freaking crossed, we're going to be able to you know, avoid mass injuries with him. He's a good, strong lad, not the paciest in the world, but he's got good fitness, stamina. He's strong, like I said, 14, quite decent. He's a bit aggressive, so he's got that edge to him. He's quite brave, and he's got good anticipation, so I'm hoping that that'll work towards cutting out some of the silly mistakes at the back. But we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Again, big determination on the kid, and his decision making is fairly decent. Got a good header of the ball. His jumping reach isn't brilliant, but when he does get there, he's very, very decent in the air. He's got brilliant marking and tackling as well. I reckon he's got the potential to be a key member for our squad. I'd agree with that. I mean, he's 23 now. His career has been on stop at Derby due to injuries, like I said. But I'm hoping that he can do a decent job for us in League One. He has got a bit of experience in the division with Carlisle and with Barnsley. Barnsley obviously right back at the beginning of his career. And I think he's going to be one of the ones that does quite well for us. I mean, his rating at the minute's decent, and he's got, you know, 4.5 star, nearly 5-star potential, so I think he could do decent stuff for us. We move on to Dalton Page, the marvellous Dalton Page, who, if you watch this series from the beginning, you remember when he first came in, he had that long hair going on. He's had his Barnet chop since, and it seems to have helped him out. He's playing really quite well. He's already this season picked up his usual booking and yellow card. He's got a temper on him. He's only 14, I say only, I'd imagine for the amount of red cards and yellow cards he gets, I'd thought it had been about 19, 20, his aggression, but it is up there. And it is a bit of a ball ache because he does get suspended a lot. I mean, if you have a little look back through his career, it might not be as bad as what I thought, but if you have a look back through, last season he got 9 yellow cards. He didn't get a red card last season, but he didn't play a hell of a lot. Season before he got 15 yellow cards. It does actually seem to be more yellow cards than red. It's funny how your memory serves you. He got a red card that year and 9 yellow cards. Red card that year, 4 yellow cards, and then he didn't play for his O season. So he's actually not been sent off half as much as I thought he had. But as far as his potential goes, if he can keep himself in the team, he tends to get going, then just start making ridiculously silly mistakes, and then loses his place, and has a bit of a bitch. I put him back in, he does well for a while, then makes a big few mistakes, and then, you know, it's just like a vicious circle with him. But I would love to see him go on and do well for us. Euclid Bertrand. My dog's having a bit of a sigh in the background there. Oh, steady on, son. He's having a bit of a snore there. That was very loud. It was the dog, it wasn't my wife, I promise. Come from Everton. He's played a couple of games for us this season, won the cup, won the league, done very well. His stats are okay, he's got good tackling, marking's not brilliant, he's quick though, that's his thing. He's 17 and 15 for pace and acceleration, 11 pace, acceleration 15, 17 for stamina, so he's got, you know, he's got fuel in the engine to burn. Determined as hell, man. He's as determined as a fat kid to get the cookies off the top shelf, this kid is, and his work rate's decent. And he's got good leadership skills, so could possibly, depending on how he develops, go on to be a future captain at the club, which would be pretty cool for him. Take on a bit of the old juice there. But yeah, it says he's going to go on to do... My dog keeps snoring, it's really funny, I apologise. I think he could go on to do quite well for us. And like I said, possible future captain. Will he make us a lot of money? I don't know. It's difficult to tell with him. It's one of those where he's going to need the work putting into him. But if we put enough work into him, we could get a decent return on him when he eventually moves on. Lee Ellis, very reliable player. Very reliable player. And to be honest with you, a bit of a surprise, because when I picked him up, I didn't think he would be the player he is. He's turned out to be. I picked him up from Forest Green last season for £60,000, and he's been integral. He's very, very good, very strong, you know, very strong in the middle of the park. It says he's only got 11 there, but for me personally, I think it's higher than that, because he's kind of like the glue that holds the midfield and the defence together. Always mopping up, great tackling, great passing. Marking's not brilliant, but you know, he's very astute. You know, he knows what needs to be done. His determination's good. His decision making surprises me at only being 11, because sometimes, you know, the ball will be coming in, there'll be a pass swung over, and I'll look at him and it's almost as if he spots the error that's coming and he makes the split decision to just go and get the ball. He thinks, right, I think that guy ain't going to get it. Bombs in there, flies in front of them, and just takes the ball off and makes them look stupid. Really great player, good first touch as well, which is it's evident if you watch him. Keep an eye on him, the number 18 on the match engine, and you can see his first touch. He very rarely lets him down. I think we'll make a bit of money off him eventually at some point. My boy Colin St Rose, This guy, the Dominica International, 17 appearances for them. Coincidentally and interestingly, they are playing in 13 days. They are playing Anguilla, and Anguilla have a new. They have a brand spanking new superstar striker, and we'll get to that in a bit. But back to Colin St Rose, this guy is just building and building and building, and I honestly think we have a £2 million player. I think we could probably get onwards of 1.5 to £2 million for him over the next couple of seasons, maybe this season, maybe next season, because his value is only 215. But if we cranked his volume up to say 4 million, somebody would come in at around the 2 million, between 1.5 and 2 million range, if you ask me. The report says it all. Sorry guys, still the back end of hay fever season, beating my nose up, but look at him, absolute monster of a player. Great job. His finishing is only 8, right? But he gets goals. He got 7 in his first season with us, 8 in his second, 9 in his third. Will he get 10 this season? That would be freaking hilarious. Imagine that if he just got one more extra goal every season for the rest of his career. It'd be a goal machine come the end of it. But yeah, he will go on to bigger and better things. One of my favourite players I've picked up on this. And the thing is, you see, last season there were points where he couldn't get in the team. He was just struggling to get in the team, but he just got on with it, you know. And then there was a point when he came to me and he said, look, I need to be playing. And I was like, to be fair, you're probably right, you do. Put him in, never looked back, absolutely bossed it from then on out. Dale Tock, I know, it rhymes with... Yeah, we won't go there. Potential to be a key member of the first team. He's got amazing stats. One of the signings this summer, of course. And he's come from Sunderland. He came through the ranks at Sunderland, so he's got a decent pedigree coming through from the Stadium of Light. And he spent a lot of time on loan at Colchester in League One, and last season in League Two, so he knows the Football League. You know, he's been in and around it. He's even played in the Championship on occasions for Sunderland. So he's got, he's got that pedigree. He knows what's required of him. He's played 4 games for us so far. He's got 4 assists. So he's not messing around, this lad. He's here to progress his career. I'd like to think that these kids that are dropping down to us are thinking they play their youth players, they give them games, and then they don't stand in their way. They let them move on when the right bids come in. And that's what I tried to do. That's how I tried to play the game. Hakib Adelakum. Now this kid, I say kid, he's 26 now, but this fella, entire career at Scunthorpe, and I brought him in on trial in the summer, thinking, I don't think we need another winger. Am I glad that his agent came to me and said, he needs a club, can he come? And I thought to myself, I do it a lot. I do tend to bring in a lot of trial players in the summer just to give them somewhere to train. I like to, because in real life I support crew, everybody knows that, and I've done scouting work and coaching work and stuff. And one thing about Reese Heath at crew is they always have players coming to train there. Sometimes it's real big, like Premier League players come down there because they know somebody who's at crew or somebody on the coaching staff or something like that, and they come down, they train there. And I just like that idea of doing that on here, because I don't know if it makes any difference, but I like to think in my fantasist world of believing in Football Manager and believing that it's even more in depth than we realise, that by allowing players to come and train with us, get fit with us, even if we don't sign them and we just get them fit for somebody else to sign, it penetrates through to the rest of the footballing world on the game, and they start to think, that's the sort of club I want to go to. They help you, they move you on, they don't stand in your way, they don't hold you against your will. I mean, you've seen it over the seasons. A player's come to me and gone, and when and even not playing enough. I've not really wanted to let them go, but I have. I've either sold them or I've released them, and that's just the way it's gone. But yeah, he's been brilliant for us. don't quite know what to expect from him though in terms of progression career-wise. I don't know if he's going to be with us for a few seasons, you know, get to 30, 31, then sort of just be let go and drop down the league, or just go to another team in League 1, League 2, Championship sort of area. I don't know. He could surprise us. He could really kick on and, you know, get picked up for £1 million. You don't know. He's one of those. He's a bit of an unknown quantity in terms of progression. Nathan Howe has agreed, has moved to QPR, and we've got him back on loan. Eventually rising to £1.8 million with all the add-ons and stuff, but he's originally gone to start off with for £625,000. And as you'll see in the next video, I kind of go through and I show you his goals that he scored before he went. Scored a belter in one of the games. This was going to be his season. This was the season when I thought, right, we're going through this transitional period. You know, Loire, I could tell you now, has gone. Me and Loire fell out over a bit of a transfer deal, and we fell out. I let Russell Coyle leave, who was on fine form, scoring goals, but Cardiff City from the Championship came in for him, and you know, he wanted to go. I couldn't stop him, and Lamana Loire just chucked his teddy out the pram, and we had a bit of a barney, and I offered him out, and Portsmouth took him straight off me, no questions asked, paid the fee, which was, I think it was only about 45k, but they paid the fee, took him off me, but it's still 45k profit. We picked him up on a free, so, you know, he's gone. But anyway, yeah, he was Nathan Howe. I thought, right, I know he's a striker, but we could play him on the left. He can come in, he can go on the left, and you know, we can start transitioning him into the team and Loire out. But the way things panned out, he ended up moving to QPR with a loan back for the season for what could eventually be 1.8 million. Loire wasn't happy that one, he'd been sold. He was a bit murmury about that, but then Coyle went literally straight away afterwards, and he really, you know, really had a tantrum about that, which was a bit sad. But as for Howe, he had a cracking season last year at Braintree. We picked him up from Buxton a few years back, and there was just something about him that I liked. Never really hit it with us, and then comes in, starts looking the biz for us, and then QPR, Blackburn and Nottingham Forest, all Premier League teams, were just like, we want him, and I accepted all their bids. I negotiated to match the bids to exactly the same, and then just accepted it and thought it's up to him who he goes to, and he chose QPR in the end, which surprised me a little bit, because Nottingham Forest are doing very well in the Premier League. Blackburn are a mid-table team. Forest are, I think they're second at the moment. It's early days, but QPR are at the bottom at the moment, bottom two. It's early, like I say, it's early days, but it surprised me a little bit. I was expecting, in my mind, I was expecting his first choice to be Blackburn for some reason, and then Forest, then QPR, but he's gone for QPR, so good luck to him. Now, here he is, Anguilla's star striker now, Glenford Martman. Got a call up to the Anguilla team and took it, scored on his debut, made 3 appearances since, hasn't scored, but let's be honest with you, they aren't exactly doing very well. He scored their only goal this year against Suriname in the qualifiers, and we've got the Dominica game. I might even have a look at that game. I want to have a look at it. I think I'm going to travel. I'm going to go on my travels and watch that game when it comes about. But yeah, Glenford Martman, I've done something as well. I've done something, because there's Khalid Martman. So what I've done, I've used the in-game editor. This is one of those moments where I shall show you what I've done, and to keep those family traditions going along, Glenford's in there. Him and Glenford are now classed as relatives, just for the hell of it, really, just so I can keep kind of, you know, I like to keep the family tradition thing going along, which I don't think comes in with regens, as I've said before, and I will no doubt say again. But Martman, he's come into that period now. He's only 19, but he's been involved with us for a good few seasons now. This is his 5th season involved in the first team, and he had a bit of a blip in League 2, didn't he? It didn't really work for him in League 2 like it did in the conference. But last season he had a great season for us. Slipped off towards the end, but he had a great season for us, and I think he's coming to that point now where he's probably going to be getting close to moving on soon, possibly this season, if not in, hopefully not in January, but I can see him going in the summer. I've just got his feeling this is going to be his year to move. Leo Chambers, former West Ham trainee, brought in from Colville last season for 48k. Did really well last season. Towards the end, in our capitulation, he did start to really slip up. Cost us a good few points towards the end with an own goal and some silly mistakes, but still a very good player. But I believe unless he really kicks on this season, he will be let go at the end of his contract, which is this season. As at the moment, I've made the advanced decision to release him, but that may change as the season progresses. We'll have to wait and see. But for me, he's not going to be anything other than a League 1 player at the most. In fact, to be fair, he's probably more of a League 2 player in my eyes, or a very basic League 1 player. Rob Cole, brought in from Colville. I like the look of this guy. He needs time to adjust to being in League 1. It's a big step up from, I think he was part-time at Colville in the conference, and he's come up to League 1. He's been involved in a couple of games, and he's come off the bench in a couple of games, and he's done well. I've liked him. I've liked what I've seen so far. Got an assist in the cup as well, but I see him as he's 21 now, so I can't really give him oodles of time, but I think I can probably get something decent out of him, probably second half of this season going into next season, depending on who sticks around in the central. If Colin St Rose goes at some point, which I'm envisaging, because he's getting to that point now where the shot window is clean and he's there, pride of place in the middle of it, I think. And I think Cole, once, if St Rose goes, Cole will step in. He will be given the chance to step in, and we'll just have to see if he sinks or swims. Jeff Wilson. I like Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson likes me, but we fall out like a married couple all season, every season, about his involvement in the team. He goes through fits and starts where I wish I could play him every game. This is the thing with football managers. Sometimes you get these players that you just don't want to let go. You get a bit attached to them, and it's silly. I shouldn't be attached to him. And to be honest with you, I think I am stifling his career. He's 24 now, and he needs to play games. He needs to be a first team player, but I just keep finding these other players to bring in, and it's not his fault, because when he plays, he plays. You know, he's a good player, but you know, it's hard to pick him ahead of St Rose. It's hard to pick him ahead of Toc now. You know, it's hard to pick him ahead of who did we have before? Gardner. You know, that was the trouble we were having, and he's suffering from it. I feel bad, which is why I loaned him out to Torquay last season, and he did a great job towards the end of the season at Torquay. So I think he will be leaving this season, either for a small fee during the season, or he will be released at the end for his career's sake. Keith Fryatt, expecting some things from this fella. 6'4", 13 stone striker, strong, quite quick for a guy of his size, brave, got good determination, penalties are superb, finishing's good, strong heading ability, bit of a leader, work rate is phenomenal, and he's got vision and teamwork thrown into it, you know, just as a bit of a Brucey bonus really. Local lad, came into the team through the youth take last season, could be the next Alan Shearer. I didn't see that. That's a new development. Local lad from the Neaton. Expecting some things from him. Made 5 sub appearances this season and has been unlucky not to score. He came on in one of the cup games and was real menace. But look at that, in non-competitive games, 6 goals in 4 games. Ollie Benson signed from Manchester United after his release from their youth team. Very good first season last year. Oh dear me. At the minute, he's involved in a bit of a tussle for first team football with Dalton Page. The two of them keep sort of jockeying for position. Last season, 3 goals, 39 appearances with 3 assists, an average rating of 6.99. I do believe that he will do well. Whether or not, though, he's going to get there with us, whether he's one of those players that will play for me for a while, then move on for a, $1.5 million or whatever, I don't know. It may be a case of he gets, he gets a good few appearances for us, but can't dislodge the 2 main central defenders, ends up moving on to somewhere else, sort of a sidestep to go forwards. I don't know, but I like him. I think he will be a Premier League player in the future, hopefully with us, and hopefully we can get him there, whether it be through selling him there or getting there ourselves one day, who knows. Ben Lewis, picked up from Telford. Great stats. His stats are coming on lovely. Good finishing, dribbling ability, quite quick. He's a bit aggressive. Determination is 12. Work rate and teamwork, though, up there with the best of them. He was playing as a striker at Telford, but he's actually more of a left winger, which threw me because I've been playing him on the right. Why have I played him on the right when he's left wing? I don't understand why I've done that, but we'll gloss over that. I think this guy could go on to be a half decent Premier League player, top end Championship player. I like the look of him. He's good. He's good, and he's looked very strong when we've played him. He got 2 goals last season. He's got 1 this season. Had to pay more than I wanted to. That was his release fee, and Telford just would not accept anything less. And I thought, well, if I put the work in with him, and he, if I give him the rope and he doesn't hang himself with it, he climbs it, we will make that money back. I'm confident we'll make quite a profit on him. Maybe even if it's only even if we only get 800 grand for him, it's still over £400,000 profit. So I'll be happy with that. Good little run for Telford, but most prolific season was the 2019-20 season. But I'm pleased with the way he's going at the minute, and I'm hoping that we can get a bit of money for him. Also help Telford out with a little sell-on clause. Timothy Pike. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that beard. He means business. With a beard like that, a man means business. Looks a bit like a convict with his hair slicked back and his beard going on. First touch of an angel. God bless him. Very decent first touch. Trouble is, he's 23. So he's not. It sounds silly, doesn't it, when you say, "Oh, he's 23," so he's not exactly young. Which he is, but in terms of being classed as a breakthrough young player for ourselves, he's not. He's just he's a young player, but he does have experience. He's an experienced player to a degree. He's got a season under his belt in this division with Scunthorpe last year. He's played Championship football, and he's been involved in and around a team that's been in the Premier League. So he's got that bit of experience to him. Not a lot, but just a bit. Alex Bass, good goalkeeper. Pleased with him last season. He kind of steadied the ship when our friend Mr. Wally went off the rails. Steadied the ship, had a good season. Started this season, played 3, conceded 3, but dropped off after the arrival of Robbie Jenkinson, former Pompey player. Like I say, did well for us last season, but he's not going to go anywhere major in my opinion. will probably be released this season or sold this season. Jake Wally, signed from Telford. This kid drives me mad because he's got so much potential to go and be a great goalkeeper, but he is just absolutely ridiculously stupid at times. As you see there, he rushes out way too much. I mean, literally rushes out of the penalty area on occasions like an absolute crazy, like a chicken without a head. He's just like, oh, the ball, and then he runs and just gets outside the area, and then it's almost as if like the area is his little house and he can't leave it, and he's like, oh no, and then the ball's in the back of the net, and then I shout at him. It's a vicious circle. He's demanded to move to Leicester last season. This season it was Bournemouth. They will keep looking at him, these teams, but nobody's picking on him. Not picking on him as in like, oh, you're fat, you know, but picking him out and going, we'll give you a go. We'll have a pump with you, my friend. He cost me £250 from Telford, and I know he conceded a lot of goals for Telford, but you know, I think if it wasn't for him, they'd have conceded hundreds of goals, because when we played them in the league that season, I remember just sitting there open-mouthed at how many saves he had to make in the game, and they were all good saves. So he's a bit of an enigma. He's got the ability, he's got the quality, he just needs to wake up and realise it. Sam Hart, new player, free transfer from Fulham. 17 acceleration, 17 pace, 13 stamina. The bloke can run like the wind. I've seen him on the pitch. Right, we're going to have to use the things here because I can't remember what game it was. Say that 15 there on teamwork is the ball. Right? This last star here is Hart. And the 6 here is the opposition player. The ball came over, it bounced, and it was bouncing to there. This guy comes trotting over, right, and Sam Hart just goes, whips the ball off, runs in, comes across, taps it over, and then, if I remember rightly, the ball was headed in, saved, came bouncing back, somebody else crossed it in, and I think it might have been St Rose tapped it in. But I just couldn't believe it. He was just like, meep, meep, meow, took the ball, gone, away. Thanks, but no thanks, guys. I'll do it on my own sort of attitude. Very experienced in the Football League 2 and League 1. Played at Oldham in League 2. Had a decent season, 14 appearances, 1 goal. Went to Wickham, 35 appearances, 2 goals, 4 assists. He got 3 assists at Oldham. Then he went back down to League 1 with Bury. 18 games, 1 goal, 5 assists in that one. And then Yeovil, he got 3 and 15. That's both assists and goals. And then he was at Leyton Orient last season. Last season. Oh my, sorry, my brain went blank. Last season he got 15 appearances under his belt there, so he's got Football League experience. We've brought him in to give him a chance. I believe, given the talent, he'll be a Premier League player. I honestly do, easily. Right, Titus Mackey. This guy was a weird one because I offered him a contract, and I think as the offer went in, Bristol City must have just gone, oh, let's terminate his contract, let him go, because I was expected to come at the end of the season last year, like around the 9th of June when somebody else was joining. But no, he just suddenly randomly appeared out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I've signed now, how are you? You know, sort of thing. It was a bit bizarre. But very experienced player indeed at League 1 level. You know, a lot of appearances under his belt for Bristol City, and also played in the Conference South with Oxford City. So I thought, bring him in, he knows the division. Decent right back. A bit unfortunate he's coming at the same time as the defenders that we've had come in. You know, I brought him in to be my first trust right back, but with Hawkridge, what's his name? Hawkridge, Benson, Dalton Page and Harry Davis. Davis is playing at right back at the moment. It's going to be difficult for Tortoise Mackie to get him. I want to call him Tortoise. I want to call him Tortoise Mackie. I don't know. Tortoise, Titus, Tutus. We'll go Tortoise. Tortoise Mackie. I like Tortoise. Josh Swindell. Now this one's going to baffle you. Don't worry. I understand. You're going to be baffled by this. He's on loan at the minute to Bradford in League 2. He's got 2 in 2 for them. Right, wait for it. He got 6 in 4 for us. He was on flames, absolute flames. But he picked up a knock and I was like, crap. You know, what do I do? He came back, but he was struggling for fitness. And Bradford said, can we take him on loan for a couple of months? And I said to him, I think you need to go, you know, get a bit of extra playing time down there after your injury, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, yeah, cool, boss. Whatever you say, boss. You're the man, boss. I'll go. You know, I'll go. You'll miss me. I'll come back. We'll mess this league up. You know, that was his attitude, and I loved it. So he's gone down to Bradford on loan for a couple of months just to get his match fitness back and everything. And he's on fire for him. Look at that. 2 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, 1 player of the match, 8.45 rating. He's on fire. The guy will be a Premier League star. He will. He'll play for England, guarantee it. Aidan Brown, one of our own. He's Aidan Brown, he's one of our own. Been out on loan last few seasons, trying to come in and stake a claim in the left back spot. Good stats, very good potential ability. I think he will go on to be a decent-ish Premier League player in the future with somebody. Spent last season at Braintree, 27 appearances, had a good season with them. Don't know how they did last year. They're still in the conference, so they didn't do terribly. This guy here, is this the one? No, it isn't. There was somebody who was at Braintree, a kid who was at Braintree, and I swear to God, if he'd have been at a Championship team or a Premier League team, he'd have been worth about 25 million. He looked immense. But those are the first team players, guys, and then I'll just have a look at the under-21s and just see if there's anybody in there. Jason Bowles, he's come from Derby, he's up for loan. In fact, I want to offer to clubs on loan. I want to try and get him out there, get him loaned out. Then there's me, retiring at the end of the season, tender age of 39 now. Just there to make up the numbers. I will play this season at some point. We will give me my final farewell. Jamie Hook's gone out on loan. Great player. Gonna be a star. I reckon he'll be a Premier League player easily. He's at Harrogate at the moment. He's got 1 goal in 9 for them in the conference. So he's doing alright for them. Elliot Barrett as well. He's another one of our own. He's going to be a decent player. I think he could play in the Premier League, but I think he will be. He's more than likely looking to be a good Championship player at the moment, at this stage in his career. Had a loan at Witton last season, did okay. He's now in the conference. He's got 1 in 7 down at Ebbsfleet. I do like loaning players to Ebbsfleet. I don't know what, there's something about Ebbsfleet that I quite like. I don't mind sending players there because they tend to look after them and they tend to use them, and they do seem to nurture them. Frederick Amodu. Let's have a look at him while we're here. Do a bit of scouting. Avoid signing too many doubts. Why are there too many doubts? Avoid signing, not scouting. Dumbo. I'm going to send a scout out. I don't care what he says. Oh, let's do a really in-depth report on him. He looks decent. And who's this? These are also a good team to pick players up from. You're nothing spectacular, son. Charlie Coyd, he's on loan at Colville. Expecting things from this guy. Really expecting things from this guy. Slowly building him up and building him up. This is going to be his last season out on loan. Next season is going to be the year when I say, here's your rope. Either climb climb up it or hang yourself with it, my friend. He's going to get his push next season. He's going to get that opportunity to come in and show us what he can do. He got 5 in 11 at Gaul last season, and the season before that he got 2 in 2 down at Ashton. He's already got 6 in 9 for Colville, but he has picked up an injury, so we'll have to wait and see how he does there. And Brian Smith started the season on the right, started well, started strong, but he's gone out on loan to Rainworth just to try and give him a little bit more of a boost. He did get 24 goals for Cheltenham last season in the conference, so Rainworth could possibly have themselves an absolute steal on loan there. And then we won't worry too much about the under 18s, but there's a couple in here that are looking as if they could do well. You got Nick Munn, he's out on loan at the moment. He's made 10 appearances for Chester. Who was the other one? Mike Bennett, was it? Was it Mike Bennett with the hair? Yes, it is. I like the look of him. I think he could do something in the future. I'd say championship standard at the moment. That's where I could see him going. But of course, could really eclipse that. Jamie Davis, they've gone from saying he's great to saying he ain't that great. But I believe in Jamie Davis. I believe in Jamie Davis. I believe in Harvey Dent. I think he could do something, and we are going to work with him, and we're going to try to do something with him. Xavier English, who has actually played first team football for us last season. I like the look of this kid, and I think he will go on to be a high-end championship, mid-table premiership player at the moment. At the moment. He's very small, 5'4", very small, very, slim, but quick, and got good stamina. His strength isn't brilliant, but I've got this feeling that he could go on and do very good. Gets a lot of fouls made against him, a lot, which is always a good sign, as stupid as that sounds. If they need to foul them, that means they need to stop them, and that is a good sign for the future of this club. But anyway, guys, hopefully that shed a bit of light on where we are with the players, what is going on squad wise, and who I like, who I'm thinking of letting go. Let me know in the comments below what you think of certain players. Do you agree? Do you think that Robbie Jenkinson's going to go on and be a big superstar? Colin St Rose, how long do you think he'll be with the club for? Do you think we'll keep him for the rest of the season? Do you think he'll go in January? Or do you think he'll still be here next season, like midway next season? Do you think nobody will take the chance on him? And Nathan Howe, good business for me, in my opinion, very good business. But was it too soon for us to let him go? Possibly. For me, definitely too soon for him to move to the Premier League, because he wasn't proven at this level, let alone a higher level. But that being said, I think he'll go on and have a fine career. And also, let's just get the thumbs up on this video, guys, for Glenford Markman becoming an international striker. He's worked so hard. I've dragged him. I don't know if you remember, but I've kind of dragged him from being the guy who I was sort of, oh, do I keep him or do I let him go? He's got a bit of potential, but he's just not doing anything with it, to 20 goals a season, 20 goals last season, and an international goal under his belt now. So he's been on a journey with us. And Jeff Wilson, I think I'm going to let him go. Do you agree? Do you think it is... I mean, it's a bit harsh that he's not really been given the chances he deserves. But, it's difficult with the midfielders we've got. I struggle, sometimes if I see a midfielder, I struggle to say no. Because I know, me, my passing game is my thing. Midfielders set the, they get the engine running. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. In the comments, don't be mean, keep it clean, and I will see each and every one of you next time. Don't forget, thumbs up for Markman, the marksman. Goodbye.